So what is TCP? TCP/IP helps you to determine how a specific computer should be connected to the internet and how you can transmit data between them. Okay, and it also helps you to create a virtual network when multiple computer networks are connected. And full form of TCP, obviously it is transmission control protocol / internet protocol, that is TCP/IP. And it is specifically designed as a model to offer highly reliable and end-to-end byte stream over an unreliable network. So I repeat, it is specifically designed as a model to offer highly reliable and end-to-end byte stream over an unreliable inter-network. Okay. Now what is UDP? So full form of UDP is user datagram protocol. So it is a datagram oriented protocol. It is used for broadcast and multicast type of network transmission. The UDP protocol works almost similar to TCP, but it throws all the error checking stuffs, all the back and forth communication and data availability. Okay, so it is fast, but it is not so much secured. Okay, and how the TCP/IP work? If I say the next question, so a TCP connection is established with the help of three-way handshake. It is a process of initiating and acknowledging a connection. Once the connection is established, data transfer begins, and when the transmission process is finished, the connection is terminated by closing of an established virtual circuit. So this is the TCP works. And how the UDP works? So UDP uses a simple transmission method without implemented handshaking dialogues for ordering, reliability or data integrity. Okay. UDP also assumes that error checking and correction is not so much important or to be performed in the application to avoid the overhead, because these are basically overhead. Okay, for the error checking and correction. So in this way the UDP basically worked. It is also compatible with packet broadcast and multicast. And you can, if I say that what are the features of TCP, so there are some features. That important features of TCP are delivery acknowledgement, retransmission, delays transmission when network is congested, and easy error detection. Also it supports bandwidth intensive application that tolerate loss of packet, less delay. It can send the bulk quantity of packets. There is least possibility of data loss, allows small transaction. Okay. Now let us concentrate the difference between TCP and UDP. Okay, this is the most important thing. Okay, so okay, first I will discuss some important topics, then I will further go to the differences. Now what is the application of TCP? Application of TCP, you can say that it helps us to set up a connection between different type of computers. It operates independently of the operating system. Okay, supports many routing protocols. It enables the internetworking between the organization. It can be operated independently. Okay, it can be it supports several routing protocols, which I previously told. And TCP can be used to establish a connection between two computers also. Okay, now this is the application of TCP. And what are the application of UDP? So you can say that UDP is largely used by time sensitive application as well as by the servers that answer small queries from a large client base. Okay, UDP is compatible with packet broadcast for sending all over the network and for multicast sending, and it is also used in domain name system, voice over IP, and on online games. Okay, these are the application of UDP. Next, what are the advantages of TCP? So there are some advantages and disadvantages of both TCP. Let us say it helps us to establish or set up a connection between different computers. It operates independently of the operating system. So these are the advantages. Okay, and basically now we concentrate on the disadvantages of TCP. So disadvantage of TCP are TCP never conclude a transmission without all data in motion being explicitly asked. We can't use for broadcast or multicast transmission, that is TCP cannot be used for broadcast or multicast transmission. TCP has no block boundaries, so you need to create your own block boundaries. TCP offers many features that you don't want. Okay, it may waste bandwidth, time or effort. In this model, the transport layer does not guarantee delivery of packets. Replacing protocol in TCP IP is not easy, and it doesn't offer clear separation from its services, interfaces and protocol. These are the disadvantages of TCP. Next we will discuss about what are the disadvantages of UDP. Okay, so what are the drawbacks? In UDP, a packet may not be delivered or delivered twice. It may be delivered out of order, so you get no indication that whether it is delivered twice or not delivered or out of order delivered, something like that. And next point for disadvantage of UDP, you can say that routers are quite careless with UDP, so they never retransmit if it collides. That is, if packets are collided, no retransmission will happen. Next point, you can say UDP has no congestion control and flow control, so implementation is the job of the user application. Okay, and UDP mostly like to suffer from worst packet loss. Then where to use UDP and TCP? So TCP is an ideal choice, and even it has associated overhead. Therefore, when most of the overheads is in the connection, your applications stay connected for any length of time. UDP is ideal to use in multimedia like voice over IP. Use TCP when both client and server independently send packets at that time, and occasionally delay is acceptable. Okay, just example, you can say online poker game. And you should use UDP if both client and server may separately send packets, and occasionally delay is also not acceptable. Example, suppose multiplayer games. So in these cases, we can use TCP and UDP. Now let us concentrate on the major part, that is the difference between the TCP and UDP. So TCP and UDP. Okay, so it is a connection oriented protocol. Okay, and it is a connectionless protocol. Next point, you can say TCP read data as streams of bytes. Reads data as streams of bytes, and the message is transmitted into segment boundaries, and the message is transmitted to segment boundaries. And in case of UDP, message contains packets that were sent one by one. Okay, it also checks the integrity at arrival time. It also checks the integrity at arrival time. So this is the second point. Next point, let us discuss TCP rearrange data packet in the specific order. Where in case of UDP, UDP protocol has no fixed order because all packets are independent of each other. Because all packets are independent of each other. Next point you can write like this way, that next point is TCP makes their own way across the internet from one computer to another. So TCP messages makes their own way across the internet from one computer to another. And corresponding this, there is no connection there. It is not a connection based. It is not connection based. So one program can send. So one program can send lots of packet to another. Next point, the speed of TCP is slow. Why? Because there is error checking and reassembly, so it is slow and fast. Okay. Also, header size is 20 bytes and header size is 8 bytes. Next point, TCP is heavyweight. Okay, and it needs 3 packets to set up a socket connection before any user data can be sent. Before any user data can be sent, and it is lightweight. No tracking connection, no tracking connection or ordering of messages, etc. Okay. The next point, you can say that TCP does error checking and also makes error recovery. TCP does error checking and makes error recovery. In case of UDP, perform error checking but discard erroneous packet. discard erroneous packets. Okay, next point, acknowledgement segments. And no acknowledgement segments. Okay, use handshaking protocol like SYN acknowledge SEK. Okay, but in case of UDP, no handshake. Why? Because since there is no handshake, so you can say that connectionless protocol. So we have studied many points: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. So another difference you can say that is reliable, as it guarantee delivery of data, guarantee delivery of data to the destination router. Okay, and corresponding here is the delivery of data to the destination can't be guaranteed. The delivery of data to the destination can't be guaranteed. Okay, and another difference you can say that the TCP offers extensive error checking mechanism because it provides flow control and acknowledgement of data, and in case of UDP has just a single error checking mechanism which is used for checksum. Okay, so the last point you can say for the TCP, again I'm repeating, TCP offers extensive error checking mechanism because it provides flow control and acknowledgement of data, and in case of UDP has just a single error checking mechanism which is used for checksums. Okay, so these are the 12 differences between TCP and UDP. This question usually comes in the semester exam or university exam, so if you write in 5 marks maybe, so this 12 points is sufficient for the 5 marks. So we have discussed about many things about TCP and UDP. Okay, the differences, what is TCP, what is UDP, okay, how TCP works, how UDP works, features of TCP, okay, whether the applications of TCP and UDP, advantage and disadvantage of TCP and UDP. Okay, so these are we have discussed all this. Okay, thank you.